Hello friends. So let us start the discussion of goods and service tax in India. Now GST, or a very good and simply wonderful tax as the government planned it to be. But then we know plans are something and the actual execution is something. But still, in spite of whatever shortcomings goods and service tax has today, it is one of the best things which could have happened to the Indian economy. This is a tax which is there to stay, irrespective of any change in any government. This is a tax which will develop. As a small baby, it has got teething problems. These teething problems cause a trouble to public at large, because जिसकी जेब से टैक्स जाता है उसी को तकलीफ होती है. टैक्स ऑफिसर हैज नो प्रॉब्लम, उसको तो लेना है. See, this is a live example of how smart the Indian people are. So can you imagine a law which is just beginning? अभी तक लोगों को समझ में भी नहीं आया था. आधे लोगों को तो अभी तक जीएसटी कैसा होता है ये भी मालूम नहीं. And here already within a span of 24 months we have had 10,000 crore rupees of tax evasion already found, already detected in the field of GST. लोगों ने पुराने सिस्टम से दुकान चालू कर दिया. प्रिंटिंग प्रेस लगाओ, जितने बिल चाहिए छाप लो. मेरे बिल के बेसिस पे आपको आईटीसी मिलेगा. आपने पैसा दिया, बिल ले लिया, बात खत्म, मैं गायब. और ऐसे एक एक आदमी ने 100 200 फर्म्स एक एड्रेस पे खोल दिए. एंड दे वर जस्ट प्रिंटिंग बिल्स विदाउट इवन giving actual material or anything, just for the purpose of passing on ITC. See how smart the Indian people are. But remember what I always tell you, tax officer भी तो इंडियन ही है, उसको थोड़ी पाकिस्तान से इंपोर्ट किया है. तो here you find that this goods and service tax. Before we go now into the technical details of the law, let's understand in general direct tax, indirect tax. Of course, we have had all this basic discussion earlier. जब आपने direct tax पढ़ा होगा या GST regular batch में किया होगा, you already know this. But still, it always is a good idea to recap everything. We know in India we have primarily two categories of taxes. A, direct taxes. B, indirect taxes. Direct taxes are taxes which are levied on a particular person, whereas indirect taxes are taxes levied on goods and services. So, जब हम direct tax की बात करते हैं, today in India there is currently only one direct tax in existence, which is that one, income tax. Earlier we used to have gift tax, we used to have wealth tax, we used to have estate duty. All those three over a period of years have got abolished. Indirect taxes, we have even today quite a number. Of course, we have GST, goods and service tax. We still have excise duty. We also do have customs duty. We also have some other local level taxes which are there at a state level. But by and large, we find that whenever we deal with direct tax, what happens is, it's a simple phenomenon that it is very difficult to collect direct tax as compared to collection of indirect taxes. And the logic is simple, because when I ask you, आपको ये tax भरना है, then you know that you are paying, your neighbor is not necessarily paying the same tax. आपकी दुकान है, बाजू में same दुकान है, both of you are earning almost same income, but भाई साहब बाजू वाले 2 नंबर का काम करते ज्यादा, सो आपने 2.5 crore इनकम बता दिया, अदर फेलो शोड ओनली 25 lakh इनकम. So obviously you have to pay huge amount of tax. Nearly you would be paying around 1 crore in the current scenario. और बाजू वाला कुछ भी नहीं भरेगा तो बहुत जलन होती है, बहुत दुख होता है, क्योंकि बाजू वाला नहीं भर रहा है, दुख ये नहीं कि खुद भर रहे. See, given a choice in isolation, if you are the only person in the country, you would have paid all those taxes honestly. The problem is the relative concept. बाजू वाला नहीं भर रहा है और मैं भर रहा हूं, उसका दुख सबसे ज्यादा होता है. जब आप लाल सिग्नल पे खड़े होते हैं और बाजू वाला लाल सिग्नल तोड़ता है, हमें दुख कितना होता है. और फिर हम क्या करते हैं? Follow the leader. Same problem you will find in income tax. On the other hand, indirect tax. I always call indirect tax meethi churi. Why? This is a tax which is very, very easy to collect. समझता ही नहीं. Because as far as I, the buyer of the goods or receiver of the services, मेरे लिए, for me, this tax is nothing but whatever a cost. मेरे लिए तो खर्चा है. I ask you that okay, I want to buy a dairy milk, silk buy करना है, 60 rupees, 60 रुपए. 60 रुपए में टैक्स भी तो है. शायद उसमें 10 रुपए जीएसटी है. आई डोंट नो, बट फॉर मी 60 रुपीज इज द कॉस्ट. आई एम नॉट बॉदर्ड कि उसमें 50 प्लस 10 है. आई एम नॉट बॉदर्ड. मेरे लिए 60 रुपीज इज अ कॉस्ट. यू बाय शुगर, यू आर पेइंग इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, बट वी डोंट रियलाइज इट. एंड मेनी टाइम्स पीपल पे 50,000 in indirect tax without realizing, but they'll be very unhappy paying 2,000 rupees of direct tax. जब क्लाइंट सामने आता है, वो बोलता है रिटर्न भरना है, और जब हम बोलते हैं सर 12,000 रुपीज इज द टैक्स, उसका रिएक्शन आता है इतना. 2,000 भरने में तकलीफ होती है. और उसको बोलते हैं कि नहीं भाई बेटे को आपको आईआईटी की क्लास लगानी है, 5 लाख रुपए फी लगेगी, 18% जीएसटी, 90,000, 5,90,000. Sir, check. 590 is paid because that 90 he doesn't realize is a tax. For him, cost of that class is 5,90,000. He has nothing to do with it at all. So always we find that direct tax and indirect tax, if I compare, you find direct tax is levied on persons, whereas indirect taxes are levied on goods and services. Direct tax is a tax levied on your income, earlier wealth also, but now only income. But the entire computation of direct tax is on the money you earn, not on the gross revenue, not on your sales. Indirect tax, on the other hand, is on the basis of your turnover or your sales, or what we can say, the gross supply. That is going to be something which will be taxed. So whether I earn profit or not, I will have to pay indirect tax. Direct tax मुझे कब भरना है? अगर मैंने profit कमाया. You might have a business with 5,000 crore turnover, लेकिन लॉस है 100 करोड़ का. शायद आपको 1 रुपया इनकम टैक्स नहीं भरना, but you might still be paying 1,000 crore in indirect taxes, because indirect tax is not connected with profit. It is connected with transaction. ट्रांजैक्शन से कनेक्टेड है, आपके इनकम से कनेक्टेड नहीं है. हु बेयर्स द डायरेक्ट टैक्स? डायरेक्ट टैक्स इज बोर्न बाय द पर्सन हु पेज इट. मैंने कमाया, मैंने भरा, तो ये मेरी जेब से ही गया, किसी और का उसका इंपैक्ट नहीं आता. बट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंगली, इज नेवर बोर्न बाय द पेयर. इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स इज बोर्न बाय द अल्टीमेट कंज्यूमर. देखिए, I charge you say 10,000 rupees fees for a class on which I collect 1,800 GST, 11,800 if you are paid to me. I will pay 1,800 to government as GST. 1,800 रुपए जब मैं भरता हूं, मेरी जेब से क्या गया? Zero. I have collected from you, paid to the government. Cost किसके लिए है? For the consumer, in this case yourself. क्योंकि आपकी जेब में से टोटल पैसा कितना चला गया? From your pocket, 11,800 rupees have gone out. So effective cost to you is 11,800. ये 1,800 कस्टमर की जेब से जाता है. कल अगर गवर्नमेंट ने कहा let us make GST 50%, I say I don't have any problem. बिजनेसमैन मरेगा नहीं, कस्टमर मरेगा. Because ultimately every GST is borne by the end consumer only. So you'll see that when GST started, we had very high rates of taxes. Today most of the products have been reduced from the highest rate of tax of 28% to a lower rate. Very, very few items are still remaining in the highest tax slab. You'll find that as far as direct tax is concerned, the moment you try to maximize the revenue, the collection is very, very difficult. Why? Because identifying income is much more difficult than identifying a transaction. Purchase sale दिखता है, income समझता नहीं. You might have a person having sales of 100 crore and saying, I just earned 1 crore. And you might have a person with 10 crore turnover having earned 9 crore out of that as income. So you can't even compare कि turnover के basis पे या gross amount के basis पे how much you have earned. हर एक का margin अलग है. Every business, every activity has a different profit element. सबके खर्चे अलग अलग हैं. There is so much scope for manipulation, for adjustment of profits. That's why we find income tax collection is always difficult. But collecting indirect tax is much easier because, as I said, the people don't realize it. All that you have to do is levy the tax on the goods and services. अपने आप tax चला आता है. As and when the sale or supply happens, the tax will be collected. In income tax, we find the rate of taxes are progressive. Progressive का मतलब they go on increasing. That okay, up to 2.5 lakh, you have 0. 2.5 to 5 lakh, 5%. 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%. Above 10 lakh, 30%. Then you have surcharge above 50 lakh, 10%. Above 1 crore, 15%. Yes, so progressive. The more you earn, the more tax you will pay. Lower you earn, lower will be the amount of tax. Right? But that is not the case in the case of indirect taxes. Indirect taxes, we always say, are regressive because they are taxes on commodities. They are taxes on the goods and services. Whoever might be the user, you might be consumer, I might be consumer. Person earning 10,000 a month, person earning 5 lakh a month. दोनों ने वही goods use किए, दोनों की जेब में से उतना ही tax चला गया. So always the burden of taxes is higher on the lower income group of indirect taxes. Indirect taxes always affect the lower income group highest because उनका consumption to income ratio higher होता है. अगर वो आदमी साल का 2 लाख कमाता है, out of that he is spending 1,80,000 for his regular expenses and he is saving maybe 20,000. You are earning 1 crore, you are spending 10 lakh rupees, which is hardly 10% of your income. He is spending 90% of his income. 90% of his income पे indirect tax आता है, आपके तो hardly 10% of income पे indirect tax आता है. So this is how you find that indirect taxes are always regressive. We already know the different types of direct and indirect taxes. Then let's go to this entire story of GST, how GST happened in India, why it happened, and how the journey has progressed. Goods and service tax. ये लाया क्यों गया? Because obviously it was brought in to replace some taxes. There were deficiencies in our existing tax system. We had the various taxes like excise duty, customs था, service tax था, luxury tax, entry tax, octroi, and whatnot, entertainment tax, n number of taxes we had. All these taxes were being levied under different laws, some by the central, some by the state. And then when these different taxes were being levied, one businessman, he had to go through multiple assessments for same transaction. एक ही transaction पे excise भी है, customs भी है, you have VAT also, you had CST also, in some cases you had service tax also, and one person was facing multiple officers for one transaction. And it was becoming very, very complicated, and this central tax cannot adjust against state or vice versa. ये सब problems थे. So it was found that the current system of taxes, which had developed over many, many years, was inefficient. इसमें बहुत सारी तकलीफ थी for the businessman. So how to take care of this particular problem? Then the government said, okay, let's borrow the best practices which are followed in the world. France was the first country in the world to have implemented a goods and service tax way back in the 1950s. And concept of GST has been popular worldwide in 100 plus countries. So it's not that India is the first one to implement GST. We are one of the many to have implemented a GST. Now, ये GST implement करना, so there was a big challenge, a challenge which probably many countries do not face. Because in India, we have a federal structure of the country. We have states which are independent entities, but all of us together form one country. Each state has an independent government. This country as a whole has a separate government at a central level. States should have a right to earn money and to spend money. Center should have right to earn money and spend money. So when Constitution of India was framed, at that time itself, Article 246 of the Constitution, it was brought in to specify that let us divide all the categories of what we can say revenues into three streams, or one is the list 1, list 2, list 3. List 1 also known as union list, list 2 known as the state list, list 3 known as the concurrent list. और वहाँ rule क्या था? All the matters listed in list 1, union list, who shall have a right to legislate? Central government only, full stop. List 2, state list. इस list में वो matters थे जिसके ऊपर who had power to legislate? Only exclusively state government. And lastly we had list 3, the concurrent list. ये list में क्या था? Those categories of transactions where there was a concurrent power, dual power to center plus state to levy taxes and pass the laws. Now, when this Article 246 was drafted, it was drafted way back before 1950 itself. So you can imagine it was a very, very old concept, और तब laws भी अलग थे, taxation laws were different. We had that time the concept of customs, excise, income tax, अलग-अलग सब थे, sales tax अलग था. So a need was felt to implement GST. So शुरुआत कब से हो गई? We found that in the year 2000, an empowered committee was appointed. In the year 2000, an empowered committee was appointed by the Vajpayee government, and this committee was given the task of designing what could be the GST model for India. कि इंडिया में GST कैसा होना चाहिए? What should be the broad structure? Law बनाना तो बहुत दूर की बात. At this stage, we were just thinking how the model of GST should be there, so that we can then start detailing out कि आगे क्या-क्या करना है. Then in the year 2004, the Kerkar committee, which is one of the very interesting tax reforms committee, what it did, it gave some recommendations. And the Kerkar task force, it strongly recommended that let us implement GST on a national basis. GST state level पे मत implement कीजिए. Let us have GST as one common tax, but for the country as a whole, and not have a separate GST for only a particular state. Then in 2007-8, the then finance minister, Mr. Chidambaram, you know, so he said that we need to implement GST, and he made a very bold announcement, and a interesting announcement saying that from 1st April 2010, GST will be implemented in India. 1 अप्रैल 2010 को हम GST लाएंगे. Be prepared. We are telling you 3 years in advance. हुआ क्या? So, what happened? Nothing. Because getting consensus of the states was a Herculean task. So, आगे क्या हो गया? Then, one team went out, other team came in. TP went out, TL came in. Team Pappu went out and Team Lotus came in. And the NDA government in December 2014 it tabled the Constitution Amendment Bill. अब ये Constitution Amendment Bill का concept क्या था? Again, we'll discuss this in detail later on. Constitution needed to be amended because मुझे एक ऐसा tax चाहिए where a state and center should be able to levy tax on goods and services. Constitution said sale of goods only state, services only center, excise some usually center, for some goods state. ये ऐसा खिचड़ी था. So now what to do? You needed to amend the constitution to ensure that both central and state governments jointly have the power to levy tax on goods and services. And plus there were some other changes also required in the constitution so that हम नया law create कर सके, the Goods and Service Tax Act. Remember, every law has to have power drawn from Constitution of India. अगर Constitution ने permission नहीं दी उस law के लिए, that law itself is void ab initio. Tomorrow if it is challenged in the court and court says Parliament does not have power under Constitution to make this law, Constitution has prohibited this, ये आप कर ही नहीं सकते, that entire law would become null and void. So remember, realizing this, the government said, सबसे पहले क्या करना जरूरी है, Constitution amend करना जरूरी है. And in 2014 December, on 19 December, the bill was tabled, not passed. It was tabled in the House of Parliament. 6th May 2015, the Lok Sabha passed the Constitutional Amendment Bill. So on 6th May, so December में propose हो गया, 6th May, within 6 months, the Constitutional Amendment Bill was passed by the Lok Sabha only. Then, of course, you know how the law progresses. It went to the Rajya Sabha. In the Rajya Sabha, this was then approved 3rd August 2016. And then, finally, it got the assent of the President of India on 8th of September 2016. This was a red letter day in the history of our constitution. Because GST लाने के लिए जो provisions है, Constitution got those provisions on 8th of September 2016. And it became the 101st Amendment Act of the Parliament. Can you imagine? I don't think any country's constitution has been amended 100 plus times. Tax laws amend every year, that's fine. But this is a rare scenario where the constitution itself has been amended. Because what happens is बहुत बार कोर्ट गवर्नमेंट को फेंक देती है, ये आप कर नहीं सकते, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में परमिशन नहीं है. ऐसा है क्या? चलो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ही बदल देते. So this has happened in the past when CST was to be introduced, Central Sales Tax, and all those interstate sales were to be taxed. That time they had to amend the Constitution of India. तब एक amendment bill आया था. वैसे there have been many such amendments to the Constitution. And when this 8th September 2016, the Constitution Amendment Bill was passed, something also else happened, that the life of excise, service tax, VAT, etc., CST, they were curtailed to 1 year. And it became necessary for the government to pass the GST law within 1 year. Otherwise, ये टैक्स भी बंद, नया चालू नहीं, दुकान बंद. पुराना टैक्स गया, नया लाया ही नहीं, तो you are absolutely, the government would have been shut down because nobody would have paid 1 rupee of taxes. He would have been totally out of the system. Right? So, situation now became do or die situation. And just like we chartered accountants work in do or die situation. Whenever deadline approaches, we work round the clock. Our clients also approach us at the deadline. ऐसे नहीं कि वो 1 अप्रैल को आके हमारे सामने खड़े और हम बोलते नहीं सितंबर में लास्ट डेट को काम करेंगे. We are ready to do it in April, but clients should also support us. But then you will enjoy this, don't worry, very soon. जब नवंबर में पास हो जाओगे ना आप लोग, सवाल ही नहीं आता. पास होना है पक्का ना. चावला, you too. अभी ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट आ गया एंड दैट पेव्ड द बैकग्राउंड फॉर पासिंग द लॉ. एंड फाइनली what happened is 4 basic laws were proposed and approved by the parliament. CGST bill, Central Goods and Service Tax bill was proposed. The Integrated Goods and Service Tax bill, Union Territory Goods and Service Tax, and the GST compensation to states bill. These 4 bills were put up for approval and they became the act. How so? 27th March 2017, they were approved in the Lok Sabha. 29th March 17, they were approved in the Rajya Sabha. And 12th April 17, President's assent was received. But then, remember, that did not make the law effective because immediately, parallelly, all states also had to pass a state GST law. So every state has their own GST law, but which is supposed to be identical with the central GST law, right? So ये जब GST law pass हो गया, it was made effective to the entire country except J&K from 1st of July 2017. And many of you will remember 30th June 2017, first time we had a midnight session of the parliament, 12 baje, all the parliament was on, the Prime Minister himself there, everyone working, enjoying, celebrating. जैसे न्यू ईयर सेलिब्रेट करते वैसे GST was celebrated. I remember 3 दिन से तो पूरे भारत में मेला लगा था and all shops had sales offered. Buy goods before GST comes in, they are going to become expensive. इतना येड़ा बनाया, इतना येड़ा बनाया. Can't imagine. Because they all knew goods cost is going to go down. लेकिन सबने ऐसा मार्केटिंग किया, देखो अभी 12% आ रहा है, 28% टैक्स आ रहा है, एंड पीपल वेंट मैड. आई कैन शेयर विथ यू कि वी हैव क्लाइंट्स हु आर डीलिंग इन व्हाइट गुड्स लाइक टेलीविजन, रेफ्रिजरेटर. ही सेड सर मेरी दुकान में एक फूटा हुआ भी टीवी नहीं बचा, एक रेफ्रिजरेटर नहीं बचा, एक वॉशिंग मशीन नहीं बचा, एक मिक्सर भी नहीं बचा, कुछ भी नहीं बचा. लोग आके उठा के लेके जा रहे थे. वो बोला एक ऐसा टीवी था 4 साल से पड़ा था, 2-3 पीस थे मेरे पास, 55,000 मेरी प्राइस थी, कोई खरीदने के लिए नहीं था. मैंने 25 में ऑफर किया, किसी ने नहीं खरीदा. अब ये सेल में तीनों 55,000 में बिक गए. एंड आई वाज गोइंग टू स्क्रैप इट बिकॉज पीपल बॉट एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग. चाहिए नहीं चाहिए, अरे जीएसटी आने वाला खरीद के रखो, जीएसटी आने वाला खरीद के रखो. ट्रस्ट मी, आई एम नॉट जोकिंग. सम ऑफ माई ऑफिस मेंबर्स आर देयर, दे विल सी द स्पाइक इन सेल्स. जून 2017 में जितना सेल हुआ वो कभी भी भारत के इतिहास में दिवाली में भी नहीं होता, इतना सेल हुआ. एंड पर्टिकुलरली लास्ट 3 days 27, 28, 29, 30 आप देखो ऐसा ऊपर. Never ever in history of India any company must have sold that many goods. 30th June 17, 90% of godowns were empty for anything. अरे medicines खरीदे लोगों ने साल भर के. Medicines, can you imagine this? ये पाउडर वाले ने पाउडर भी खरीदा होगा. तो एनीवे 1 जुलाई को ये धमाल हो गई. बट सिंस जम्मू कश्मीर हैज अ डिफरेंट एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ सेक्शन 3, आर्टिकल 370, द एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ जीएसटी वॉज डिफर्ड and it was made applicable to J&K only when they consented, and they gave their consent on 8th of July. यानी 8 जुलाई 2017 से जम्मू कश्मीर में भी जीएसटी लग गया. So effectively it became applicable to entire country practically in the same week. 1 जुलाई को except J&K, and from 8th of July it became applicable to the entire country as a whole. But as I said, that was an amazing time. We really remember all the traders laughing all the way to the bank because they just minted money. ट्रस्ट मी दे मिंटेड मनी, मतलब ये देखो चावला के घर में दुकान है ना चावला? नहीं, अभी तो हाँ बोल रहा था, झूठ बोलता है। सो दोस्तों, GST, when we talk of it, what was the need to bring in GST? There were of course many reasons to bring in GST, but by far the most important reason to bring in GST was simply the cascading effect of taxes. The duplication, multiplication of taxes on a similar single transaction was the main cause of concern. Typically, you will find that, let us say, you have a company, say X Limited, who is manufacturing goods. It manufactures goods for 100 rupees. It was liable to pay excise duty, say 12 rupees. So effectively, it would want to sell the goods for 100, but it would have to charge 12 rupees excise duty. So it would sell them for 112. But central government was levying which tax? Excise. State government said, no, when you sell goods, on sale we will collect VAT, value added tax. If you sell outside the state, we'll collect CST. Let us say the VAT rate, for convenience I am taking round figure 10%. 10% was there, so this 10% tax, if it is levied, it will become 11 rupees 20 paise. So this total effective becomes 123 rupees 20 paise. Now you can imagine, this VAT is a tax on 100 or on 112? 112. तो पूरे 112 पे टैक्स लग गया, यानी यू आर लिविंग टैक्स ऑन सेल वैल्यू एज वेल एज ऑन टैक्सेस. दिस वाज फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम, टैक्स ऑन टैक्स. Second problem we had was, let us say X Limited sold the goods to me. So Y Limited buys the goods. It was buying the goods for 123 rupees 20 paise. But इसमें वैट था कितना? 11.20 और बाकी इसके लिए कॉस्ट प्राइस था 112. The buyer was eligible to get a credit of VAT, but buyer was not getting the credit for excise duty. Buyer was getting credit only for VAT and not for the excise duty. So एक ही टैक्स का क्रेडिट था, दूसरे टैक्स का क्रेडिट नहीं. So one tax was not a cost, other tax was a cost. Further, there were other very interesting complications of classification. Classification of transaction. Is this a supply of goods? Is this a sale of goods? Is this a supply of services? यानी सर्विस टैक्स लगना चाहिए या वैट लगना चाहिए? That was another interesting controversy which was there. So for example, I am making software and selling software. So I sell software to you for 1 lakh. 1 लाख के लिए सॉफ्टवेयर बेचा, ठीक है. Now came the interesting problem. The VAT department said, we want 12.5% VAT on this. It's a sale of goods. There was one Supreme Court judgment of TCS in which the Supreme Court had said sale of package software is goods. तो गुड्स के बेसिस पे वैट डिपार्टमेंट बोली 12,500 चाहिए. At the same time, service tax department, they also got active. They say that this is intellectual rights which are being sold. So it's a type of a service which you are giving. You are giving them license to use a particular technology. Because आप source code नहीं बेच रहे, you are giving them a license copy. So you are allowing them to use a copyrighted product. तो ये सर्विस हो गई. हमें 12.5% सर्विस टैक्स भी चाहिए. So on same 1 lakh, two different governments levying the tax, central government and the state government. Actually, any one of them should have taxed this transaction, because it was either goods और इधर सर्विसेज। लेकिन ये बोले नहीं, दोनों बोले वन सेट दिस इज ओनली गुड्स, अदर सेट दिस इज ओनली सर्विसेज। आरसीसी तो मर गया ना, बिकॉज इफेक्टिवली 25% टैक्स लग गया। नाउ इमेजिन यू आर द बायर, and as a buyer it became a big problem, because when seller says okay this is goods, I say VAT, but if he charges me service tax, what do I feel as a buyer? ये चीटर है, झोल कर रहा है, गुड्स पे सर्विस टैक्स नहीं लग सकता या सर्विसेज पे वैट नहीं लग सकता, वेरी नेचुरल। सो यू नो, ऑन सेम वैल्यू two different taxes were being levied wrongly because of the dispute between central government and state. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के लॉ में डेफिनेशन अलग था, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट लॉ में डेफिनेशन ऑफ गुड्स वाज डिफरेंट, एंड देयर वाज अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, बट द सफरर वाज द टैक्स पेयर, द असेसी वाज द टैक्स पेयर हु वाज सफरिंग इन द एंटायर ट्रांजैक्शन. So you will understand that when we were under the earlier laws of excise, customs, service tax, VAT, CST, these multiple problems were always going to be there. और ये सब problems को overcome करना था. That was the main intention, that we have to come out of this old problems. And therefore, what we can say, thought process started कि भाई इंडिया में GST लाना जरूरी है. So what were some of the problems which we faced in the earlier system? First was non-availability of credit of excise duty and service tax for VAT. अभी मैंने example भी दिया था. I have paid excise duty. Can I set it off against VAT payable? No. Or I have VAT on purchases. Can I set it off against my excise duty or service tax? वो भी no था. Secondly, central sales tax. When I sold goods from one state to another, interstate sale, we used to charge CST, central sales tax. Central sales tax का set off किसी को नहीं था. Nobody. I sell my goods from Pune to Delhi. I would charge on my sale CST. Delhi वाला जो मुझसे goods खरीदता था, उसके लिए जो भी CST मैंने लगाया, it was 100% a cost. CST was 100% cost. Clear? अब इसमें नुकसान क्या हो गया? India became a fractured market. CST was the biggest problem from unifying India into one common market. क्यों प्रॉब्लम था इस CST में? CST में तकलीफ ये थी, as I said, set off नहीं था. And just understand what the problem was really. A person from Mumbai is selling goods to a dealer in Delhi. Let us say 100 rupees के goods है, and let us say 2% CST. Cost of the goods is 102. Now Delhi dealer sells either in Delhi. If he sells in Delhi, क्या लगाएगा वो? Delhi VAT. If he sells from Delhi to let us say Punjab, he will charge CST. यानी on his sale, either he will pay VAT or CST. आप VAT भरो तो भी ये 2% का सेट ऑफ नहीं, CST भरो तो भी उसका सेट ऑफ नहीं. CST cannot be set off even against CST. Did you understand the problem now? यानी CST VAT में सेट ऑफ नहीं होता, वहां तक ठीक है. CST cannot be set off even against CST itself. So CST was always a cost. And now look at it. I am the dealer in Delhi. मुंबई वाला आदमी है, वो बोलता है सर आई एम गिविंग यू द गुड्स एट 100 रुपीज प्लस 2%, 102. अब दिल्ली वाले को एक लोकल दिल्ली वाला सप्लायर मिलता है, वो बोलता है मैं आपको 101 रुपये में गुड्स देता हूं प्लस 12.5% वैट. दिल्ली वाला सप्लायर क्या कहता है? आई विल गिव यू द सेम गुड्स नॉट 100, 101 रुपया में दूंगा और उसके ऊपर 12.5% वैट भी लगाऊंगा. यू एज द बायर, यू आर द दिल्ली डीलर. आपको अभी चॉइस है, मुंबई से 100 + 2% में खरीदना या दिल्ली से 101 plus 12.5% VAT लगा के खरीदना. What will you choose? Delhi only. Compulsory. क्यों? क्योंकि entire 12.5% VAT I get a set off. So VAT is not a cost. Landed cost of the goods is only 101. ये ऊपर का 12.5 जो गया वो रिकवर होने वाला है, वापस मेरी जेब में आने वाला है. So there is no question at all of even 1% of looking at the Mumbai dealer. Now if you look at it competitive wise, Mumbai dealer is really offering a lower price. शायद उसकी क्वालिटी भी 10% बेटर है, but he just cannot survive in an interstate market because the person manufacturing or supplying from that state will always be superior. जो उसी स्टेट से मटेरियल सप्लाई कर रहा है उसका हमेशा फायदा है. So you can understand now Delhi becomes an isolated market. बाहर के स्टेट से वहां माल बेचना मतलब तकलीफ का काम है. You really have to be over competitive. So each state became a separate market. I, as a manufacturer in Maharashtra, I was unable to access entire India as a market. दूसरा प्रॉब्लम सीएसटी में, मैंने तो अभी बताया सीएसटी 2%. ये 2% बहुत बड़ा जोक है. क्यों? रूल कैसा था? इफ आई एम सेलिंग फ्रॉम मुंबई टू दिल्ली, आई एम सपोज टू चार्ज 100 प्लस सीएसटी विल ऑलवेज बी एट द रेट ऑफ गुड्स ऑफ वैट. यानी वैट इज 12.5, सीएसटी कितना लगना चाहिए? 12.5, राइट. लेकिन एक कंसेशन था उधर. कहां? कौन से लॉ में? सीएसटी लॉ में. दैट इफ द सप्लायर इफ द कस्टमर, मेरा दिल्ली का जो कस्टमर है, इफ द दिल्ली कस्टमर वॉज गोइंग टू गिव मी अ डिक्लेरेशन इन फॉर्म सी. कौन सा डिक्लेरेशन देते थे? फॉर्म सी. ये डिक्लेरेशन अगर वो मुझे फॉर्म सी से देते हैं, देन इंस्टेड ऑफ 12.5, इंस्टेड ऑफ 15, जो भी वैट रेट था, I was allowed to charge only 2%. So always the buyer would issue a declaration in form C, and I would say, ठीक है 12.5 नहीं लगाऊंगा, I will charge you only 2%. Fine, beautiful. Practical difficulty. I don't get a C form right away. C form का process कैसे होता है? See, I am buying goods from other states. I will tell them charge me 2% CST. I will issue the C form because C form is not prepared by me. It is prepared by the government portal. So I, the buyer in Maharashtra, I have to go to the Maharashtra site of VAT, upload all the details of purchases from other states, and then I have to issue the C form. The C form is generated by government of Maharashtra. यानी मैं मेरे घर में C form नहीं बनाता, ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र जनरेट करती है बेस्ड ऑन द डेटा आई गिव टू देम, एंड इट इज गिवन एवरी क्वार्टर. ठीक है, 3 महीने के बाद आई विल इश्यू द सी फॉर्म टू यू. ग्रेट. अब प्रॉब्लम होता था, आई हैव सोल्ड गुड्स टू यू, सामने वाला सी फॉर्म देता ही नहीं. मरेगा कौन? बेचने वाला. बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, व्हाट इट सेज, यू आर सेलिंग टू दिल्ली, यू हैव चार्ज 2%. ग्रेट. सी फॉर्म दिखाओ, वरना 12.5%. डिफरेंस ऑफ 10.5 प्लस इंटरेस्ट प्लस पेनल्टी दे दो. जस्ट करंटली वी आर गोइंग थ्रू वन केस वेयर द डिमांड इज 3 crore rupees of only VAT, differential CST, because the customer has not yet given C form. हम उसके पीछे भाग रहे और वो फोन नहीं उठा रहा. लिटरली 4 बार आदमी वहां दिल्ली जाके आया. उसके घर के बाहर लिटरली तंबू ठोक के बैठे ना, वैसे गाड़ी में ऐसे ही 24 घंटे बाहर. कब आएगा उसको पकड़ लेंगे. दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ सिचुएशन. प्रॉब्लम इज पर्सन इज नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग. व्हाट माय ऑफिसर सेज, मिस्टर शाह गिव मी सी फॉर्म, एल्स एज पर लॉ आई हैव टू टैक्स इट. Whatever is the normal rate, I will collect from you with interest. So you can imagine it was extremely risky doing business interstate. मैं 50 लाख का मटेरियल बेचता हूं दिल्ली में, I am going to earn hardly 3% margin. मेरा ग्रॉस मार्जिन इज 3%. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज सामने वाले ने सी फॉर्म नहीं दिया, मेरी जेब से 10% एक्स्ट्रा गया, प्लस उसका इंटरेस्ट गया. कैन यू इमेजिन? यानी ऑन सेल ऑफ 50 lakh आई एम लूजिंग 5 lakh rupees. Instead of earning, I don't earn 1 paisa, I give from my own pocket. Doing business outside the state was a very, very, very risky proposition. So India was clearly a market where there were officially no walls, but every state border was a big China wall. Selling from here to there was always a problem. So this is one of the biggest issues we had in the original system, CST. CST का क्रेडिट नहीं था, और जैसे मैंने कहा कि CST बहुत हाई लेवल पे लग रहा था in the absence of C forms. Then service providers were not getting credit of VAT that we discussed. Then in the very interesting problem we had in the service tax, they had levied SBC, Swachh Bharat Cess. 14% service tax rate था, 0.5% was Swachh Bharat Cess, 0.5% was कृषि कल्याण सेस, और वैसे सर्विस टैक्स इफेक्टिव रेट वाज 15%. लेकिन इसके ऑफिशियल ब्रेकअप थे अलग अलग, 14 प्लस हाफ. अब जैसे स्वच्छ भारत सेस का सेट ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरर को नहीं मिलेगा, सर्विस प्रोवाइडर को भी नहीं मिलेगा, यानी किसी को भी नहीं मिलेगा. यानी स्वच्छ भारत सेस हमने लिया, आपको साफ कर दिया, खत्म ना, आपकी जेब साफ हो गई, आपको वापस कुछ मिलेगा नहीं. नो सेनवेट क्रेडिट वी वर गेटिंग ऑफ KKC, कृषि कल्याण सेस फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स. सर्विस प्रोवाइडर को मिल रहा था, मैन्युफैक्चरर को नहीं. और अर्लियर मैंने पहले ही बता चुका हूं, डबल टैक्सेशन बाय सेंटर एंड द स्टेट. सेम ट्रांजैक्शन इज टैक्स बाय सेंटर ऑल्सो, स्टेट ऑल्सो. टेक अनदर एग्जाम्पल, वो तो मैंने सॉफ्टवेयर का एग्जाम्पल दिया. कंस्ट्रक्शन, I am a builder, I am selling flats and shops. On construction, there was service tax. On construction, there was also VAT. So again, on same value, you were paying service tax. On same value, you were also paying VAT. Again, duplication of tax on the same value. So you can understand there was a plethora of problems in the original indirect tax system. I am not talking of VAT, I am not talking of service tax. ये पूरी family गड़बड़ वाली थी. Because what happened was, these families were born separately. Excise was there pre-independence. Sales tax came after independence. CST उसके बाद आ गया. Service tax तो छोटा बच्चा है, 94 में आ गया. तो over a period of time, all these taxes developed. And you can understand therefore that no one had built these taxes with a vision of country as a whole. अभी पैसा चाहिए, ठीक है, इसके ऊपर टैक्स लगा दो. कैसे लगाना मालूम नहीं, चलो नया लॉ ला लो. That was the haphazard way in which the taxes were levied. Now they said, okay, एक बार साफ सफाई कर लेते, स्वच्छ भारत मुहिम चली रही है, तो let us simplify the indirect tax system and remove all these imperfections and try to bring in a common tax, that is GST. Now when everybody talks of GST, one common, what we can say, statement has been boldly made right from day one. पहले दिन से बहुत जबरदस्त statement हो रहा है. One nation, one tax. One nation, one tax. I say it is one nation, many taxes. Fine, still okay. But what is the real benefit of GST? One nation, one market. That is the real outcome of GST. ये one nation, one tax, ये सब झोल है. It is one nation, many taxes. Actually, what really was the intention, and it has been served, one nation, one market. And that has happened after GST. Now, why I say one nation, many taxes? Still, it's a necessary evil we have to face. And trust me, we are not the only country in the world to implement a dual GST regime. तो ऐसा नहीं कि this is the only country. There are many countries which have implemented a dual GST regime. Dual GST regime का मतलब क्या? Now, when GST was to be implemented, negotiations कब से चल रहे? 2004 से. 2004 से 2016 तक निगोशिएशन ही चल रहे कि भाई टैक्स कैसे लाना है, इसका स्ट्रक्चर क्या होना है। स्ट्रक्चर डिसाइड करने के लिए 12 साल लग गए, एक्चुअल लॉ बनाने के लिए टाइम नहीं लगा। द स्ट्रक्चर डिसीजन टुक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम एंड राइटली सो, बिकॉज द ओरिजिनल लॉजिक वॉज वेरी सिंपल। लेट्स रियली ब्रिंग वन जीएसटी, खत्म, जीएसटी स्टॉप, आगे पीछे कुछ नहीं, सेंट्रल स्टेट आईजी सीजी एसजी कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ जी। अब जीएसटी लाना है, बाकी कुछ भी नहीं। सो विल जस्ट लेवी टैक्स 20%, 25% जो भी है वो जीएसटी लगेगा, एंड देन हम आपस में बांट लेंगे, मतलब सेंटर एंड स्टेट वी विल डिवाइड दिस टैक्स अमंगस्ट आवरसेल्व्स। But then state governments were worried about losing their financial freedom. Today, all states, the major source of revenue is earlier VAT and excise and CST. Now it is GST. तो स्टेट का क्या कहना है? ठीक है, let us say our share for the month is 5,000 crores. What happens if the central government does not give us our money on time? अज्यूम करो वो पार्टी अलग है, हमारी रूलिंग पार्टी अलग है, वो अपने स्टेट्स को पैसे फटाफट देंगे, फिर हमको भीख मांगना पड़ेगा, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा। यू नो, राइट, द फियर्स वर वेरी वैलिड, कुड हैव हैपेंड, वी डोंट नो, कुड हैव हैपेंड। सो द स्टेट सेड वी वांट फाइनेंशियल ऑटोनॉमी, हमारा पैसा हमारे पास ही आना है, हमारा पैसा एक दिन के लिए भी आपके तिजोरी में नहीं चाहिए। Our money should come in our account. We will use it directly. We don't have to ask you anything. We don't have to come to your door. हमें इतना पैसा दे दो, हमारा जो हक है automatic, it has to come to our account itself. And with that background, a consensus was involved. A compromise was achieved. जिसमें from a one GST we switched to a dual GST regime. A dual GST regime मतलब central government will levy GST, state government will also parallelly levy GST on the same transaction. So when I say certain goods are taxable at 18%, effectively होता क्या है, 9% is central goods and service tax and remaining 9% is state goods and service tax. Whatever be the GST rate, half is centers, half is states. So now what happens, स्टेट का टैक्स तो स्टेट की जेब में डायरेक्टली आ जाएगा, किसी को मांगने की जरूरत है कि ये मेरा पैसा है मुझे दे दो, नहीं, डे वन से आपके अकाउंट में ही है। इट हैज नॉट गॉन एनीवेयर एल्स, इट ऑटोमेटिकली गोज टू योर अकाउंट। सो यू डोंट हैव टू डिपेंड ऑन सेंटर टू आस्क फॉर फंड्स, योर मनी कम्स टू योर ओन अकाउंट। दैट वॉज द रीजन वाई वी अल्टीमेटली वेंट फॉर अ ड्यूअल जीएसटी मॉडल। लेकिन ये इशू इजी जब था व्हेन goods and services are given within state to state, महाराष्ट्र टू महाराष्ट्र इजी था, क्योंकि मेरे स्टेट का टैक्स मेरी स्टेट में जा रहा है। लेकिन when the goods and services are being supplied from one state to another, the issue arose कि अभी CGST HGST करने लगे तो मारामारी होगी, कौन सा स्टेट। So therefore they evolved a concept of IGST, integrated goods and service tax. So if you have an interstate supply from Maharashtra to Gujarat, for example, then IGST will be charged. And of course, this IGST will also be shared between the states. But collection of this will be with the central government. The central government will administer and monitor the IGST. And ये पूरा जो mechanism है, totally automated बना दिया है. Based on the returns what the dealers file, this money will automatically be distributed to the various accounts. यानी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, किसी को दे डोंट हैव अ रोल टू प्ले इन द एंटायर स्टोरी. एंटायर प्रोसेस विल बी ऑटोमेटेड एंड वी नो दिस ऑटोमेटेड सिस्टम इज रन बाय GSTN, द गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्स नेटवर्क. दे आर रनिंग द एंटायर बैकबोन ऑफ द GST. तो ड्यूअल GST मॉडल, आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड क्यों आ गया. इट वॉज अ कॉम्प्रोमाइज. इनफैक्ट टिल द लास्ट मंथ आर्ग्यूमेंट यही चल रहा था, let's have a single GST. But finally when the states were so reluctant, ultimately अगर GST लाना है, शुरुआत कहीं से तो करनी है. Maybe longer run, few years down the line when the payment system is more properly done, they may say, let's merge all this into one common law and implement it. Possible है, आगे होगा, लेकिन शुरुआत कहीं से तो करनी थी. Maybe an imperfect law, but law had to be brought in, and that is why the dual system of GST was implemented. So the central government is going to look after the CGST and the IGST law. State government will look after the state government GST and of course the union territory GST. You're aware even we have a union territories. In union territory, center bhi nahi hai, state bhi nahi hai, so you have a separate GST law, the union territory goods and service tax law. Now, as I said, the central goods and service tax, there is only one act across India applicable to the entire country. लेकिन जो state का tax है, sorry, the union goods and service tax जो है, UTGST, is there for all the union territories without legislature. Union territories are regulated by whom? President of the country. Except two cases. There are two union territories which have a legislature. A, Delhi, Puducherry. Right? These are the two union territories which have a state legislature. So, unke liye, they will have the state law again. So, Delhi will have a Delhi GST. Puducherry will have a Puducherry GST law. Just like Maharashtra has a Maharashtra state GST law. Right? But all other union territories where there is no legislature, like Diu, Daman, etc., all those cases you will have a union territory GST law. Each state will have their independent state GST laws which are supposed to be synchronous with center. जो central law में amendment होगी, all the states are immediately supposed to make the same amendment in the respective state law. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि भाई state में बताया taxable है और center ने बताया non taxable है, ऐसा नहीं होगा. If the central law changes, they have to harmoniously change the state law and vice versa. So, as I said, though you see central law, though you see state law, practically at a time we usually read only one law, central law. क्योंकि अगर मुझे GST समझना है, I read CGST. I don't really need to read Maharashtra GST law or a Delhi GST law because it is supposed to be identical. शायद एक हाथ लाइन इधर उधर गड़बड़ हो सकती है, but 99.9 it is absolutely identical in wordings. Of course, this is all fine, लेकिन theoretically, we can also be headed towards chaos. Theoretically, क्यों? States have to pass their own GST. What happens tomorrow if we have a circuit CM? Atamaji Satakli. And he passes a weird state GST law, nothing connected with center. Theoretically possible. Possible. Very interesting. We could be headed to that also in case of future, but I don't think till date that problem has arisen. In near future में भी नहीं लगता मुझे, because everyone is so closely connected with the GST Council and the GST network. I think they cannot afford to do this mischief. लेकिन theoretically अगर पूछा जाए, शायद possible है, करेंगे नहीं, वो बात अलग है. Now, GST, what is the basic scope? On which transactions is GST being levied? GST is levied on supply of all goods and services. Simple hisab hai. All goods and services are going to be subject to GST. But there are some exclusions. GST is not levied on the following four categories of transactions. 1. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption. No question of GST. Earlier, liquor was subject to what? Excise duty, state excise duty and VAT. Today, it is still subject to state excise duty and state VAT. So, इसमें कोई change नहीं हुआ है. The law remains same. So, for a limited purpose, that excise law still remains alive. that state VAT law still remains alive for taxing these limited transactions. Petroleum, crude oil, diesel, petrol, aviation turbine fuel, natural gas, all these are the goods where GST is not currently being levied. It is been mentioned that the central government can levy this. Central government can bring this into the, not central government, the government tomorrow, because I cannot say any longer central government, it is governments together. So the GST council can bring these goods into the GST net in future whenever they decide. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Because petrol, diesel का setup कोई देने नहीं वाला. And no state wants to give up this right. Tobacco, again subject to excise duty and VAT, continues to be taxed under excise duty and VAT. As far as real estate is concerned, sale of land, sale of an immovable property, a building is not subject to GST currently. But construction services are liable to GST. So I am a builder, you book an under construction flat with me, GST लगेगा. Again, I have a flat which is completed. I have got a completion certificate of the flat. That means it's an immovable property. Ready-made property में अगर आपको बेचता हूं, it is sale of immovable property, no GST. So I sell an empty plot of land, I sell a ready-made building, कोई भी GST नहीं लगेगा. लेकिन construction services पे yes, GST is currently definitely being levied. Right? So are we clear the four categories of transactions which are not yet subject to GST? They are saying real estate को we want to bring it into the sector. We want to bring petroleum in the long run. कब होगा पता नहीं. आज की तारीख में नहीं. हमारे अटेम्प्ट के लिए नहीं. खत्म. Story is as easy as that. Future में क्या होगा? God only knows. But as of today, we have to see the law as it stands effective for you and me. Right. Now this input tax concept, the entire concept of the GST is based on set-offs. Set-off तो आपको मिलना चाहिए. अगर set-off नहीं मिला तो cascading effect of taxes will be there. पहले प्रॉब्लम था कि I used to have excise, service tax, VAT, CST और internal set-off नहीं होता था. Now वैसे सब कुछ एक GST हो गया. So GST on purchase should be set off against GST on sale. Simple. Answer is yes. GST to GST set off definitely होता है, subject to certain internal restrictions. Why there are some internal restrictions? Because dual regime. And in the dual regime, we have the IGST, CGST, SGST. IGST कब लगता है? I buy goods, I take services from another state. I buy goods, I receive services from another state. जब दूसरे स्टेट से गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज लेता हूं तो क्या होता है? Supplier will charge me IGST. So in other words, on my purchases of goods or services, I have input of IGST. Input of IGST we are allowed to use against output IGST, output CGST, output SGST. यानी integrated goods and service tax is completely fungible, मतलब completely mergeable with other levies. कहीं भी set off हो सकता है. यानी IGST on purchase can be set off against IGST on sale, against CGST on sale, against SGST on sale. CGST on purchases of goods and services can be used to be set off against CGST, can be used to be set off against IGST on sale. But CGST cannot be used against SGST. Central tax से state tax pay नहीं कर सकते, and vice versa. State government GST, SGST. When I buy goods from the state, supplier has charged me SGST. I can use SGST to pay IGST. I can use SGST to pay SGST, but not CGST. सो ये फंडामेंटल गोल्डन रूल है दैट सेंट्रल टैक्स कैनॉट सेट ऑफ अगेंस्ट स्टेट, स्टेट टैक्स कैनॉट बी सेट ऑफ अगेंस्ट सेंट्रल टैक्स. ये फंडामेंटल ब्लॉकेज है. अदरवाइज IG goes everywhere, CG goes against CG and IG, SG goes against SG and IG, but क्रॉस नहीं होगा. कहां से कहां? CG to SG या SG to CG. दिस क्रॉसिंग इज नॉट परमिटेड बिकॉज वो स्टेट का टैक्स उसी स्टेट में यूटिलाइज होना है. दैट कैनॉट गो क्रॉस बॉर्डर, राइट. IGST कैन गो क्रॉस बॉर्डर फ्रॉम हियर टू देयर. सो ये जो सेट ऑफ का कंसेप्ट है, आर वी ऑल क्लियर विद द कंसेप्ट ऑफ सेट ऑफ? एंड आर वी ऑल वेरी क्लियर विथ वन कंसेप्ट दैट GST ऑन परचेस इज नॉट अ कॉस्ट? Because that is something very, very fundamental you have to understand. Let us say I am purchasing goods or I am receiving services of 100 rupees and the person has charged me CGST plus SGST, let us say मिला के 18%, 18 rupees. Effectively I have paid him how much? 118 is what I have paid him. Now I am selling the goods for 150. आपसे goods लिए 100 plus 18. Now I am selling them for 150. On this again I am going to charge GST at what rate? 18%, 27. So customer say how much will I receive from the customer? 177. Right? Now the question is, forget my purchase and sale. मेरा प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कितना है? प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कितना है? हेलो, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कितना है? 50. इसमें सोचने वाली बात क्या है? मैं खुद बात करें ना, 100 का माल 150 में बेच रहे, 100 का 150 में जा रहा है, तो 50 rupees is your profit and that is what should remain in your pocket. Clear cut. But what about GST? How much GST do I pay to the government? So what happens? My output GST, that is GST on my sale, is how much? 27. But I have an input GST which we call as ITC. मैंने परचेसिस पे जो 18 रुपए पे किए हैं, I am allowed to set off these 18 rupees against the output GST, and I have to pay to Government of India only 9 rupees. I pay to them only 9 rupees. Now understand the transaction very carefully. I take from the customer 27. 150 पे 27 रुपए लगाया. Forget my 50 rupees profit. I am collecting from you 27 for GST. I pay 9 and I keep 18. मैंने पहले ये 18 रुपए परचेस पे दिए थे, आज ये 18 रुपए वापस आ गए. 18 दिए थे, वो 18 वापस मेरी जेब में आ गए. इफेक्ट हो गया न्यूट्रल. GST on purchase is not a cost. GST on purchase is not a cost at all. Are we understanding this logic, my friends? Because ये सबसे critical part है. People should understand this logic because यही basis पे आपका business चलेगा. आज होता है it's cheaper to buy with a bill than to buy without a bill. बिल से मटेरियल खरीदोगे सस्ता लगता है और आपका प्रॉफिट भी बनेगा. कैसे? यहां आपने देखा ये ट्रांजैक्शन में आपको पैसे कितने मिले? 50 रुपीज प्रॉफिट. उस 18 रुपीज जो आ गए, दैट इज रिकवरी ऑफ 18 रुपीज पेड. सो योर प्रॉफिट रिमेन्स 50 ओनली. 50 रुपए ही आपने कमाए. लेकिन अज्यूम करो एक सप्लायर आता है, वो बोलता है सर 118 में मटेरियल क्यों लेते हो, मैं आपको 110 में देता हूं बगैर बिल का, नो GST. 8 रुपए बचेंगे आपके. अज्यूमिंग आप गधे हो, आप बोलेंगे हाँ बराबर है, 8 रुपए बचेंगे, 8 रुपए बचेंगे. अब ये भाई साहब को बगैर बिल का, यानी बगैर GST का बिल है लेकिन नो GST. He has just charged me lump sum 110 rupees. I will again sell this for 150 rupees. प्रॉब्लम क्या होगा? अब ऊपर का जो जीएसटी में 27 रुपए लूंगा, आई हैव टू पे 27, सेट ऑफ कुछ भी नहीं, 27 आए 27 गए, यानी मैंने कमाया कितने, 40. यानी बाइंग विदाउट द बिल रिड्यूसेस माई प्रॉफिट, बाइंग विथ द जीएसटी बिल increases my profit. Very, very interesting scenario. And today if you go into the gold market, कैश में गोल्ड खरीदते हो, रेट इज 600 रुपीज हायर, बिल के साथ गोल्ड खरीदते हो 600 रुपीज कम रेट है. शॉकिंग बट ट्रू. वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. उल्टा है, cheaper to buy with a bill than to buy without a bill, and that too including GST. That is the best part. So you can understand how GST is indirectly forcing us to basically, what we say, officially take a bill. Today, if I am a businessman, what is my expectation? If I am paying for some goods or services, जो भी GST जा रहा है, वो वसूल करना है. वसूल करना है मतलब क्या करना है? I have to recover it. Recover it by getting set off. तो set off लेने के लिए बिल चाहिए, प्रॉपर वैलिड जीएसटी का इनवॉइस चाहिए. I will insist on the supplier, I want a proper GST invoice. So you can understand one very interesting hidden benefit of this entire GST story is that we are going to actually force the entire business people to issue bills. If I ask you for a bill, you will have to buy officially. If you buy officially, your supplier has to sell officially. So the pressure is from bottom up, that we are telling them ऊपर तक कि भाई मैन्युफैक्चरर लेवल से नीचे तक हमें सब जगह बिल चाहिए, तो हमें सेट ऑफ मिलेगा, और सेट ऑफ नहीं मिलेगा तो हमें आपसे बिजनेस करना ही नहीं. Today when we deal with the new entity, today most of our clients, when they are buying goods from somebody, बोलते जीएसटी का नंबर नहीं रहेगा तो डोंट इवन गिव अ ऑफर ऑल्सो, योर कोटेशन ऑल्सो वी विल नॉट इवन कंसिडर. You have to have a GST registration, otherwise we are not willing to look at your entire bill. Forget bill, आपके मटेरियल को देखना भी नहीं, आपकी प्राइस को भी हमें देखना नहीं. We want to have a proper GST supplier. Now, one of the beautiful parts of GST was that a whole family of taxes got merged into GST. Now, firstly, let's talk of the central taxes which got merged in GST. एक्साइज ड्यूटी के बहुत वेरिएशंस थे. एक था सेंट्रल एक्साइज ड्यूटी, द मेन सेंट्रल एक्साइज ड्यूटी मर्ज्ड विद जीएसटी. वी आर एन एक्साइज ड्यूटी, मेडिसिनल एंड टॉयलेट प्रिपरेशंस एक्ट, ये मर्ज हो गया. एडिशनल एक्साइज ड्यूटी जीएसआई, दैट इज गुड्स ऑफ स्पेशल इंपॉर्टेंस, ये मर्ज हो गया. एडिशनल एक्साइज ड्यूटी टीटीए, दैट इज टेक्सटाइल एंड टेक्सटाइल प्रोडक्ट्स, ये मर्ज हो गया. सीवीडी, काउंटरवेलिंग ड्यूटी ऑन कस्टम्स अंडर कस्टम्स एक्ट, ये मर्ज हो गया. सैड, स्पेशल एडिशनल ड्यूटी, अगेन लेविड अंडर कस्टम्स एक्ट, ऑल्सो मर्ज विद जीएसटी. सर्विस टैक्स मर्ज विद जीएसटी. सीएसटी, सेंट्रल सेल्स टैक्स, ऑल्सो मर्ज विद जीएसटी. एंड the various surcharges and cesses relating to the supply of goods and services, all these got merged into GST regime. ये तो सिर्फ सेंट्रल लेवल टैक्सेस मर्ज हो गए. इमेजिन कितना हेडेक कम हो गया. एक मैन्युफैक्चरर का कितना हेडेक कम हो गया सेंट्रल लेवल पे. स्टेट लेवल पे भी धमाल हो गई. एट अ स्टेट लेवल, स्टेट वैट गॉट मर्ज्ड विद जीएसटी. लग्जरी टैक्स, टुडे व्हेन यू गो टू अ होटल, the hotels based on the room rent, they were charging state luxury tax. That got merged now with GST. Entry tax in all forms, whether you call it entry tax, octroi, कुछ भी नाम दे दो, ये merge हो गया. Entertainment and amusement tax, आप थिएटर में जाते हो, मल्टीप्लेक्स में जाते हो, तो जो आपका टिकट है उसमें एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स कंपोनेंट होता है. That has been officially merged with GST, but उसमें ब्रैकेट्स में कुछ तो भी है, और यहां थोड़ी बदमाशी है. एक्सेप्ट व्हेन लेविड बाय लोकल बॉडीज, स्टेट कैनॉट लेवी एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स, बट पुणे म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन कैन लेवी एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स. सो ये ऑलरेडी 2-3 जगह पे शुरू हो गया है, दैट सम ऑफ द लोकल अथॉरिटीज हैव स्टार्टेड इंप्लीमेंटिंग एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स. यानी जो ओरिजिनल इशू था, एंटरटेनमेंट टैक्स चला गया, वो वापस आ गया है इन सम प्लेसेस. Taxes on advertisements, purchase tax, taxes on lotteries, betting, gambling, and state surcharges on goods and services. Imagine all these taxes merging into one common law, one common tax, GST. What a beautiful and wonderful achievement. It is a, what we can say, reform, the likes of which can never happen hereafter also. Such a mega reform was really due, and it has happened. And you are very fortunate to be part of the birth story of GST. Because you can tell your juniors 20 years down the line, जब GST आया तो मुझे मालूम है ऐसा था ओरिजिनली, अब ऐसा है. तो ये स्टोरी आप बता सकते हो क्योंकि आपने जन्म से देखा है GST को. Something which very few people will be actually able to say in future. Yes, now, some of the benefits which we are having in GST, major benefits by bringing in GST, first was elimination of the cascading effect of taxes. And as I earlier said, common national market was created. आज जब मैं गुड्स पुणे से दिल्ली बेचता हूं, I will charge IGST. Will the Delhi customer get set off? Yes. Do I have to worry about that C form and all that? No. Headache ही नहीं. So all the risks are gone. India becomes one market, creates huge opportunities and huge threats. Because कल तक I was doing a monopoly business because महाराष्ट्र के बाहर का आदमी यहाँ के मटेरियल बेच नहीं सकता था. Now I got opportunity to sell across the country and vice versa. My competitors from other states will now come into my market, which they earlier did not dare to enter and could not enter. So there is an opportunity to develop your business. There is a threat that you may lose your business if you don't gear up your systems. And we have seen this impact in GST. Some of our clients have exponentially multiplied. Some of the clients have gone down to less than half of what they were doing earlier. And in दोनों भी देखे, people growing like crazy, people coming down like crazy because of not being able to meet the competitive forces. Elimination of multiple taxes and double taxation, again something we know. Reduction in overall tax burden of customers. So जब GST आया, highest tax rate कौन सा आया GST में? 28%, correct? 28 देख के लोग हैरान, 28% कभी होता है क्या? अरे इससे ज्यादा था टैक्स पहले आपको 12.5% एक्साइज ड्यूटी लगती थी. बेसिक वैल्यू प्लस एक्साइज ड्यूटी के ऊपर यूज टू फर्दर पे 13.5% वैट. इन सम स्टेट्स इट वाज 14.5 and 15. तो इफेक्टिव रेट वाज ऑलरेडी मोर देन 28% और बीच वाले टैक्सेस का सेटअप भी नहीं था. नाउ प्रॉब्लम कैसा है, कस्टमर को दिखता था फाइनल टैक्स वैट. He was not seeing that excise duty and all that. तो कस्टमर को क्या लगने लगा, सीमेंट पे 28% जीएसटी, भाई पहले भी उतना ही था और पहले तो उसका सेटअप नहीं था. अब 28 का 28 वापस मिलेगा, सेटअप मिलेगा. हाँ, सेटअप मिलेगा, वापस मिलेगा. इससे एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन लेट मी शेयर विथ यू. जीएसटी जब आ गया, टू व्हाट लेवल पीपल हैव ग्रेट इग्नोरेंस अबाउट द लॉ. सेटअप मिलता है. यू नो, यू आर ऑल क्लेवर पीपल सिटिंग हियर. यहां बैठे मतलब होशियार लोग हैं. आपको आईटीसी क्या है ये कंसेप्ट मालूम है. इन लेमन टर्म्स हम क्या कहते हैं, जो परचेस पे टैक्स भरा है वो वापस मिलता है. वापस कैसे मिलता है, कस्टमर से सेल पे टैक्स लेता हूं और इसमें से थोड़ा ही पोर्शन पे करता हूं, बाकी का परचेस के ऊपर जितना टैक्स लगा है वो मेरे पास वापस रख लेता हूं. That is what we say, परचेस का टैक्स वापस मिलता है. There was one trader, हमारे एक दोस्त का क्लाइंट था, वो बिजनेस कर रहा है, जीएसटी आ गया, जीएसटी नंबर लिया, धड़ाधड़ बिजनेस बहुत बढ़ गया, बहुत बढ़ गया। अब प्रॉब्लम क्या हो गया, वो एक दिन गया अपने सीए के पास कि मुझे जीएसटी का रिफंड कब मिलेगा, मैं चेक की राह देख रहा हूं। साल भर ने भाई साहब ने क्या किया था, 3 करोड़ के गुड्स परचेस किए थे, 3 करोड़ में बेच दिए थे। जीएसटी वापस मिलने वाला है, बोला 18% वाले गुड्स है, 18 वापस मिलने वाला है, मेरा प्रॉफिट 54 लाख होने वाला है। लग गई। अब उसको पता नहीं घर के पैसे चले गए, कुछ वापस तो नहीं मिलने वाला। He was actually lost from his pocket, but he was not realizing, he was under the impression that GST will be recovered from the customer, from the government. Government is going to give you a check of whatever XYZ amount. Can you imagine such a stupid scenario? लेकिन ये भाई साहब 1.5 साल के बाद सीए के ऑफिस में गए और बताया ऐसा हुआ है। सर मेरा चेक कब आएगा, मैं कब से रुका हूं, चेक आया ही नहीं, आप कुछ करते क्यों नहीं? क्या करना है? सो आ रहा है। So you have, crazy things like this कि this is the level of ignorance which is still there in the market. यानी you are people understanding law, पढ़े लिखे हो, आपको समझता है। Can you imagine the large part of the country where even today understanding GST is a big problem. Sometimes we have to counsel the customer कि भाई GST का रजिस्ट्रेशन मत ले लो, आपका टर्नओवर बहुत कम है और आपको जरूरत नहीं, आप रजिस्ट्रेशन मत लो, मरोगे। वो सुनते नहीं, कंप्लायंस करना आता नहीं और साल का लाख रुपए पेनल्टी भरते। टैक्स है 2000, पेनल्टी 1 लाख रुपए, क्यों रिटर्न्स टाइम पे नहीं भरे? तो दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन प्रॉब्लम वी आर सी। नो, समटाइम्स पीपल जस्ट डोंट अंडरस्टैंड। किसी ने उनको बताया जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लो, धड़ाधड़ पैसे वापस मिलेंगे। Just today, I was having my morning jog and I was just listening to a group of people who were there on the road and one fellow was telling, बस जीएसटी का रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लो, उसके बाद सीए की तरफ जाओ मत, कुछ फॉर्म बॉर्म भरना नहीं, धड़ाधड़ पैसे आने शुरू होते। अरे मैं बोला अगर मैं रुक गया इधर तो मेरा जीएसटी का कंसेप्ट चेंज हो जाएगा। आज सुबह की बात है, एंड आई एम नॉट जोकिंग, दिस इज एक्चुअली लाइव सिचुएशन। टुडे मॉर्निंग इट हैज हैपेंड। पूना शहर में, गांव में नहीं। सो सच अ इंटरेस्टिंग लेवल ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस वी हैव। Competitive products have come into the market. जैसे ही cascading effect of taxes गया, many goods have become cheaper compared to earlier. So you could earn the same profit but sell at a lower price. Government का revenue बढ़ गया. Surprise, surprise. Everybody was expecting कि GST आने के बाद अभी इतने सारे taxes merge हो गए, total collection कम होगा. Actually, collection has gone up substantially, handsomely, beyond their expectations. बहुत अच्छा collection हो गया GST. Of course, they still say, हमारी उम्मीद से तो कम आ गया. But we know it is much better than what they originally were earning. And administration becomes easy. Because obviously, administering one law, you will need only one team of officers. नहीं तो एक्साइज के लिए अलग, सर्विस टैक्स के लिए अलग, वैट के लिए अलग, ईच डिपार्टमेंट वुड बी सेपरेट, अलग ऑफिसर. हाउ मच वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम, एफर्ट्स एंड एनर्जी. सो ऑल दीज आर ह्यूज एडवांटेजेस ऑफ द कंसेप्ट ऑफ जीएसटी. राइट? आर वी कंफर्टेबल अप टू दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट इन टाइम? ओके. नहीं, टुमारो नहीं, अभी है, अभी है. वी स्टार्टेड लेट, नो, तो विल ऑल्सो कंटिन्यू. अरे ब्रेक, पागल है क्या? कौन है ब्रेक वाला आदमी? So, my friends, let me just take up a small issue at this stage. We'll come to the constitutional amendments slightly later on. I'll just skip this for the time being. Now, when we are talking of this GST, we had to bring in a very interesting concept of GSTN, Goods and Service Tax Network. Now, this GSTN or the Goods and Service Tax Network, whatever problems in life the businessmen and the chartered accountants are having today, all the problems of blood pressure, whatever we are having, is thanks to the GSTN. Most pathetic, useless, hopeless, horrible, dangerous, useless network in the world, GSTN. I cannot use more unparliamentary language. Ghatiya. The law for a change is amazingly well drafted. Of course, कुछ issues है, but as soon as we tell them the issues, they are immediately rectifying. उसमें कोई issue नहीं. Government is cooperating fantastically. GSTN, हमारा कायदा अलग, पार्लियामेंट का कायदा अलग. पार्लियामेंट says this is the law, सॉफ्टवेयर says नहीं, ये ऐसा ही सेटअप होगा, तुमको करना है तो करो, नहीं तो मरो. अब ये क्या हो गया? 1st February 2019 the setup scheme changed. हम फरवरी का रिटर्न भर रहे, पुराना सिस्टम से ही सॉफ्टवेयर ऑटोमेटिक सेटअप करता है. हम नया डालते, नो, पुराना हो जाता है. फिर उनका क्लैरिफिकेशन आ गया, और नेटवर्क इज स्टिल नॉट येट अपग्रेडेड. वेट, फरवरी गया, मार्च गया, मई गया, जून में वो अमेंडमेंट आ गया सिस्टम में कि अब नया सिस्टम से आप कर सकते हो. अब प्रॉब्लम ये है, आई एम नाउ फाइलिंग जुलाई 18 रिटर्न्स विच हैव टू बी सेट अप अंडर ओल्ड. सॉफ्टवेयर बोलता नहीं, नवीन. सॉफ्टवेयर बोलता है नहीं, अभी चेंज हो गया, अभी पुराना पुराना हो गया. आज रिटर्न भर रहे हो, भले 1 साल पहले वाला नए सिस्टम में सेटअप होगा. द लॉ वाज नॉट लाइक दैट. कैन यू इमेजिन द chaos which is happening right now? And then they say file a grievance. We file a grievance. We get a prompt reply. Your grievance has been solved. और हुआ क्या? कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. दूसरे दिन सुबह योर ग्रीवेंस हैज बीन रिजॉल्व्ड. और किया क्या आप लोगों ने? कुछ भी नहीं. दैट इज द अमेजिंग नेटवर्क वी हैव. If the GSTN network had been powerful, robust and cooperative, trust me, this GST would have been a far bigger success morally compared to anything else. क्योंकि issue क्या था? Here was a tax which everybody wanted to happen. The manufacturers, the traders, service providers, सबको ये law चाहिए था. Everyone was waiting. Everyone wanted to come clean. कि भाई जो लफड़े पहले की अभी बंद, आज से सब ऑफिशियल करना है. और सिस्टम शुरू हो गई जुलाई 17 में. पहले मंथ का रिटर्न भरते समय ध्यान में आ गया, सिस्टम हैज कोलैप्स्ड मिजरेबली. जुलाई 17 का रिटर्न भरने गए, इट कोलैप्स सो मच कि इमेजिन ही नहीं कर सकते. 4 महीने बंद था साइट टोटली. जैसे ही लोगों को पता चला साइट बंद है, इनके पास मैकेनिज्म ही नहीं मैच करने का, दुकान चालू. इमीडिएटली 2 नंबर का बिल बुक चालू, पहले जैसा सब कैश में डीलिंग शुरू हो गया. अदरवाइज ट्रस्ट मी, फर्स्ट 3 months nobody was actually doing the number 2 transactions. Everyone wanted to come clean on the system. Thanks to GSTN, didn't happen. And now they are going to have to take all the coercive measures, or raid करो, पकड़ो, ये करो, to सबको लाठी लेके सुधारना पड़ेगा अभी. तो ये GSTN है. It's a company incorporated under the Companies Act, Section 8 company. You understand, not for profit company. It's a special purpose vehicle, and the shareholding Do you know how much is it? Central government holds 24.5, state governments hold 24.5, so effectively you hold 49, and private enterprises they hold 51. Recently, the government announced in the council meeting कि ये नहीं चलेगा, this is too sensitive a network where private sector should have any role, and we will switch over to 100% ownership. And they are in the process of buying out the entire share from the other entities. पूरा share वो take over कर रहे, and hereafter the GSTN network will be completely a government company, 100% wholly owned government entity. So hopefully at that time at least वो बोलेंगे हमारे पास पैसा है, कुछ खर्चा कर सकते हैं. Because here is a problem. I want to pay tax, and I sit in front of the computer for 3 hours to pay tax. अरे भाई पैसा लेना है वो तो फटाफट ले लो ना. You make me sit in front of computer और फिर वो बोलता है गोल 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 घूमने लगता है. अभी गोल घूमने लगता है. And you know, earlier अभी ये मैसेज आना बंद हो गया, but first year we used to always get a message after 5-7 minutes. Oops. Oops. ये मैसेज हमने देखा है. Oops. ये क्या है oops? And then we are thrown out of the system. Restart. Go back to the website. Anyway, ये purpose of GST, okay, though as I said, it is having its shortcomings. Concept of the GST is very important because without GST and GST cannot work, and that is what we are seeing today. आज जो भी हमें तकलीफ हो रही है, we are having problems with GST, not with the law, not with the rules, with the network, with the interface. If you see the GSTN network screen, and we'll see that live on the screen, if, in fact tomorrow also, live एक client का login करके हम देख लेंगे, and you will see most pathetically designed website. छोटा बच्चा अगर 3rd standard का उसको बताया कि भैया एक वेबसाइट बना दो, trust me, it will be 10 times better. No jokes. You see the interface, एक जगह जाने के लिए आपको 25-30 बार क्लिक करना पड़ता है. And you press the back button because you want to go to the next one. It says no, पहले 25 फिर 26 बार बटन दबाना, फिर आप आगे जा सकते हो. I want to go to the next line. I press back button, it takes me to line 1. Again I press 27 times to go there. आयुष्यभर हेच करायचं काय? Do we not have better things in life? Oh, button click, 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 click करते बैठो. You are laughing. I'll show you live. You will then actually see this. A pathetic concept. Absolutely. But anyway, why this network is important? Because जैसे मैंने कहा, CGST, SGST, IGST, UTGST सब जा रहा है सिस्टम में. This tax belongs to which state? किसको जाना है? It goes depend on the returns which are filed by the taxpayer. कितना टैक्स महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट को जाता है, इतना सेंट्रल को जाता है, इतना दिल्ली को जाता है. Now that automatic set off is being done by the GST network. It is providing us the interface for filing the returns. It is providing the interface for registration. हमें जब registration करना है, first thing, life in GST begins with registration. The entire registration is online. We go to the GST network. Then filing of returns goes through the network. Computation and settlement of IGST. IGST settlement मतलब कौन सी स्टेट को IGST जाएगा? Now, who decides that? Of course, the law decides that, but ये settlement is done by the network automatically. Matching of tax payment details with banking system. किसका टैक्स कितना आया है वो मैच भी करना है. ऐसा नहीं कि आपका पैसा आया सस्पेंस में चला गया कि ये किसका आया पैसा मालूम नहीं, टैक्स पेयर रोएगा उधर. Providing the various MIS reports to the central and state government. कि how many people are filing returns, how many people have not claimed ITC, how many people have a big difference between ITC which we see and ITC which you have claimed. तो एक जगह पे ऐसा देखेगा कि आपने 1 करोड़ का ITC सेटअप मांगा है, लेकिन आपके पास बिल में 20 लाख ही है. भाई इसको बुलाओ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ लग रही है. There seems to be some problem and they are issuing notices left and right. Providing analysis of taxpayers profile. This has been one of the biggest reasons for multiple GST raids. आज GST ऑफिसर को आपके घर आने की जरूरत ही नहीं, सिस्टम से पता चलता है गड़बड़ है. There was one case where they found कि भाई एक ही एड्रेस पे there were 100+ entities registered. That itself is big suspicion. Plus they found each of them had crores of rupees turnover. Crores of rupees turnover every day, and there were no e-way bills. You have heard of the term e-way bills. यानी गुड्स तो मूव नहीं हो रहे और हर दिन 5-10 करोड़ का मटेरियल बिछ रहा जा रहा है यहां से वहां. हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल? पकड़ो. एंड दे फाउंड अगेन 300-400 crore ऑफ GST evasion. बोगस बिल्स वर बीइंग जस्ट जनरेटेड. इसका बिल उसको दे दो, उसका बिल किसी और को दे दो, अरे गड़बड़ करके ITC पास ऑन करो. But that profile is now being provided directly by the network. The officer doesn't have to go anywhere. Running the matching engine. Matching engine जो मैंने कहा कि मैंने जब सेल बिल अपलोड किया तो it becomes ITC for you. So when I upload my sale bill, I will put buyer's GST number. So when you the buyer log in, you can see आपके सप्लायर ने ऑफिशियली कौन से बिल्स अपलोड किए हैं आपके नाम पे. So I have a physical bill, it should match with the bill which is shown in the system. ये matching होगा. The e-way bill generation, that connectivity is provided again by the GST network. So point here is this is a central network which is providing all these features. Along with the GST network, we have to also talk of two particular persons, GSPs and ASPs. GSP stands for a GST Suvidha Provider. Who is a GST Suvidha Provider? A GST Suvidha Provider is basically an interface between taxpayer. We are the taxpayer and this is the GSTN. Direct interaction say better you can interact through a GSP. GSP will provide you a better interface, shortcuts to connect with the GST system. ASP stands for Application Service Provider. Many of the large institutions, they would prefer कि भाई directly हम GST network से बात ही नहीं करें, because उनका समझो मेरी बड़ी कंपनी है, I have a ERP or a SAP system installed in my company. I would not like to go through the normal pattern of filing. I would like my software to directly connect with the GST network. But for that, I will need an application. So there are application service providers. Many GSPs also work as ASPs also. So what happens is the taxpayer connects with the ASP, who may also be a GSP. If not, further you connect with the GSP and then you connect with the GSTN. ये भी है. Yeah, as I said, you are the taxpayer, you connect with the ASP oblique GSP, and that in turn you connect with the GSTN. But आपका काम आसान होता है because you are not directly interacting with the network, you are interacting through a interface in the middle. So this GSTN network, as I said, is the backbone of the entire GST system. Collection of tax, payment of tax. आज मुझे GST office में just out of 100 works, maybe for one work I have to go to the GST office. Remaining 99 tasks I can complete online through the GST network. And something we can share that earlier during the VAT service tax regime, we had to visit the VAT service tax office every day. Now we go once a month. You can understand how much interaction has reduced. और अगर interaction कम हो गया, इसका मतलब क्या कम हो गया? Corruption has gone down. पैसे मांगेंगे किससे? सॉफ्टवेयर थोड़ी बोलेगा मेरे 100 रुपए बाजू को रख. हो ही नहीं सकता ना. तो इशू ही नहीं. The entire concept of corruption is now gone. Because human interface ही नहीं, the entire, what we can say, process is automated, life becomes so much more simpler. Right, so I think we'll stop here today at this particular stage. Thank you, friends.